It's Monday night, and this week, Downstairs Entertainment, in association with Davy Boy Productions, presents the thrilling conclusion of a very special case of Rex Riveter, Private Eye. This season builds on the characters and plot lines from previous episodes, so if you haven't caught up, we recommend you go back and listen to the episodes you missed. We'll be here when you get back. Welcome back. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the exciting conclusion of Jenny McIntosh, Girl Friday in The Homecoming.
She stood in the doorway, a solitary figure etched in marble, while the light from inside the house rushed like a tide to fill the void surrounding her. An angel in bas relief.
Hi, Rex.
Light played around her while torturing my eyes. I'd gone mad. Somewhere on the drive from the atomic city to San Diego, I'd become unhinged. Or maybe it had been a more gradual thing, since March, when I got the news of her death. Jenny McIntosh stood before me. She looked real. It was like holding up two mirrors, side by side, each reflecting a portion of what was there, but I had smashed the reflections together when I knocked, and now there were only shadows at my feet. Replicas of Jenny's face, staring up at me.
Well, are you going to say something? Rex?
Angel?
Yeah, boss. It's me.
Jenny.
I wasn't sure what more to do. He was standing there with a shotgun in his hands, and his face had lost all its color. Remembering the photos that Lenny had brought me, there wasn't that much to begin with. His eyes alternated between recognition and disbelief, like he was struggling to reconcile what he saw in the world with what he knew of the world. It was like some kid that found out that his childhood hero was just a regular old Joe. No different than anyone else.
Jenny!
I don't know if he moved or I did, but the next thing I knew, his arms were surrounding me and my face was buried in his chest. He smelled like...
Okay, it's all right.
Rex.
It's gonna be fine. All right.
I think it might have hit him first. I was still enjoying the moment. He pulled away, and Rex the detective was back.
What are you doing here? Whose house is this? What are you doing here?
You asked me that already.
Well?
It's a long story. Someone named Dragna, I think, and it's a long story. Still.
Dragna. Jack Dragna? Are you sure?
Well, maybe. I was looking through some drawers about an hour ago and came across a few bills addressed to someone named Dragna at this address.
What are you doing in Jack Dragna's house?
Remember that whole it's a long story thing I mentioned?
Is anyone else with you?
Just Stanley.
Your boyfriend? Your boyfriend's involved with Dragna?
No, the cat. His name is Stanley.
You have a cat named Stanley?
Oh, well, he's not my cat. I don't even like cats, normally. Although this one isn't bad.
If he's not your cat, how do you know his name?
Because I named him, of course.
Of course. But no people?
No, they usually come with their own names.
You should get your own radio show. You're a million laughs.
How did you find me? Did you send the guys to the place in Anaheim?
The place in... You were at a house in Anaheim, too? Who lived there? Walt Disney?
Well, speaking of a million laughs...
All right, if no one else is here... Wait, Why isn't anybody else here?
Beats me, but I'd rather not wait for them to return. Did you drive?
Of course.
Hazel?
What?
Your car. I call her Hazel.
Is there anything you don't name?
Not so far.
All right. Let's get out of here.
Oh, wait, I have a few personal items, some makeup and...
We'll get you some new stuff.
But what about Stanley?
The cat?
Yeah. Oh, when I got here, it didn't look like he'd been fed in a while. He's mostly an outdoor cat, I think. He's very sweet. You'll like him.
You want to bring a cat? Fine. Grab Stanley, let's go. The sun peaks over the mountains to the east as I find my way back to the 101, and we start the trip home. At first, there's nothing but silence, but eventually Jenny and I begin to piece together what transpired to bring us both to the house in Kensington Drive.
So the one boxer hired you to find his brother, another boxer.
That's right.
And you found him.
Actually, they found him.
They? Oh, right. The boxer and the songbird.
Right.
So then what did they need you for?
Well, they didn't.
So the whole thing was a MacGuffin.
A what?
Sure, a MacGuffin. That's what that Alfred Hitchcock guy calls it. It's a plot device.
Alfred Hitchcock?
Oh, you know him. English guy, kind of portly. Directs a bunch of pictures and TV.
I've heard the name. He says this thing's a plot device?
Exactly. There's these two guys on a train, see, and...
What's this got to do with a MacGuffin?
A MacGuffin, and I'm getting to that. So, these two guys on a train, and one of them says, "Hey, what's that package up there in the baggage rack?" And the other guy says, "That? Oh, that's a MacGuffin."
MacGuffin.
That's what I said, a MacGuffin. Am I telling this story, or are you? So the first guy says, "A MacGuffin? What's that?" And the second guy says, "It's this thingamahoozit that traps lions in Scotland." And the first guy says, "Wait a minute, there aren't any lions in Scotland." So the second one says,
"Then it must really work."
"No." He says, "Well, then that's no MacGuffin."
Huh. Mine was funnier.
Says you. Anyway, a MacGuffin isn't anything at all. It's what everyone is looking for, but it's not, really. Just something that drives the action, something that shows the character's true motivations.
Like the Black Book.
Like the... Yeah, like that.
You had it.
The book?
What are we talking about? We're talking about the book.
Well, we were talking about a MacGuffin.
You had it the whole time.
I tried to tell you.
So you did.
And I didn't have it the whole time. At one point, Antoinette had it, and before her, Abe. Don't ask me how he got it.
Marilyn.
The girl you were looking for?
I was never looking for her. It was always the book.
MacGuffin.
Gesundheit.
So now what do we do?
Good question. You translated it?
To buy me some time, sure. I had to.
Who has the translation?
Lenny.
Right. Any idea who he works for?
I heard him talking to somebody named Tiny on the phone.
Tiny. Ever hear that name before?
No. Sorry, boss. Rex.
Me either. And Dragna's guys got the original when they drove you down from Anaheim.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that might actually work in our favor.
How do you figure?
I only know of two families in Los Angeles, Dragna and Cohen. If they're the only two, then each has a copy of the book, which means they don't need either one of us anymore.
And that's a good thing?
If we've got nothing they want, maybe they'll be too busy grabbing up a piece of Max's action to bother with you. You don't have the book anymore, so you're no longer a threat. And since they both have the book, there's no need to come after you to get it.
Do you really think they'll leave us alone?
If we're lucky.
Are you feeling particularly lucky?
The morning sun shines through the passenger side window. leaving Jenny in silhouette. But there's something in her voice that tells me she needs a healthy dose of reassurance. Don't worry, ain't nothing gonna happen to you.
Rex gets that look on his face. He reminds me a little of Dick Tracy, that cop in the Sunday Funnies. Carved from stone, with a square jaw and a slit where his mouth should be. I let him believe that I believe him. Sometimes that's all you can do for a man. You look thin, Rex. When was the last time you ate?
Is it Sunday?
I think so.
Then I ate, yesterday, I guess. Are you hungry?
Starving.
I've got a few bills in my wallet. Let's get a little further from Dragna's place and we'll stop for breakfast. I've been driving for hours. I could use some coffee.
So then, Kennedy Roundhouse goes to question Dr. Fang, but Dr. Fang will only say...
Hey, honey?
Hi!
Are you, talking to the dog?
Oh, yeah. I was telling her all about Kennedy Roundhouse, Moon Detective, who is rad.
Uh-huh. Not familiar.
She's a private eye, but a girl. And, on the moon. Like a sci-fi version of a noir detective on the moon. Theater of Tomorrow, you should listen.
Cool. I spend enough time with private detectives, though, thank you. Although I do like sci-fi. I've been looking for a new sci-fi show to listen to.
Well, then just listen to a different season. Or one of the standalone episodes.
Huh?
Oh, Theater of Tomorrow is an anthology series. Anything you can imagine is on Theater of Tomorrow. A sentient ship stolen in the night. A private eye chases corruption on the moon. An interview with a man from the afterlife. They have full seasons of those. And if you're just looking for something to listen to on a drive or something that's not going to get you sucked in for a whole season, they have standalone episodes too.
Cool.
I like Kennedy. She's my favorite. Lady detectives are the best. Not that dude detectives aren't rad.
Uh-huh. You're cheating on Rex with a detective from the moon.
I am not. We're just friends.
I'm telling Randy. He's gonna be mad.
Oh, he's the one who told me about her.
Great. I have to go back to writing now. I have a bunch of tongue twisters and words you and Randy hate saying to add to our next script.
I'm gonna, finish telling Mama Dog about Theater of Tomorrow, which is available on SoundCloud or at theateroftomorrow.com. That's theater with an R-E of tomorrow.com.
Patrick perused the paragraph perplexedly, pondering the possibilities of a purple pantsuit.
I'm not saying any of that. You can't make me.
I could kill your character again.
That is messed up.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the exciting conclusion of Jenny McIntosh Girl Friday in The Homecoming.
I ate. At least I think I did. I was so hungry I don't exactly remember. But the waitress takes away my empty plate, so I'm assuming I must have. Rex's gaze travels to me, to the payphone in the corner, to his coffee, and then back to me. I can tell he's deep in thought, and I don't want to disturb him. But if we're going to spend the next few hours in a car, at some point we're going to have to talk. What's on your mind, Rex? You keep looking at me, but you don't say anything.
Just trying to map it all out in my head, I guess.
It was a long 6 months.
Did they, hurt you?
I know what he's asking. Thankfully, I don't have to lie. No, Rex. They weren't exactly friendly, but nobody laid a hand on me. I see a little bit of the tension leave the corner of his eyes, but his jaw is still set firm. Well, that anger isn't directed toward any of Dragna or Cohen's boys.
You were hiding all this time. I thought you were dead.
I know, Rex. I'm sorry. I had to make a deal with them.
Who?
The first ones, Lenny and the other boys. I stalled for as long as I could, but the agreement was that I translated the book for your safety. And my sister's.
I could have taken care of myself.
And my sister's.
She's back home?
Yes. I was only allowed to call her once. Shortly after I disappeared.
What does she know?
She knows Abe is dead.
What does she know about you?
Nothing, really. We got into an argument about something or other, and she hung up on me.
I'm sorry.
I'm not. I figure she was safer that way. If they thought we were arguing, maybe they'd leave her out of it. The waitress comes over to refill our coffee, and Rex stares again at the phone booth in the corner. What do you keep looking over there for?
There's a phone.
And?
I haven't had a lot of luck with phones lately. The last decent conversation I had was what started this whole mess. I paid the check and we got back on the road. We're still a long way from home, and I can tell that Jenny has more to say, but she's holding back. All things considered, she's doing pretty good. Held as a captive for 6 months by one gang, and just last night rescued by another. She told me there was some gunplay, and the only other person she had been even remotely friendly terms with over the last half a year was dead. I know a little something about living in captivity, and to have the only friendly shot right in front of you. It's gotta have an effect on someone. Jenny was playing the brave soldier, answering my questions, asking a few of her own, although a lot of the drive back to Los Angeles was filled by silence. For a while, I thought she was staring at me, but on a stretch of road, I risked a glance. She was looking out the window at the ocean to the west. The girl hadn't been outside except for a few minutes in transit since the spring. There was a chill this close to the ocean, but she had her window rolled down, just trying to absorb as much of the salt air as she could. I turned up the car heater, but I don't think she noticed. She was lost. I'd seen it in the war. Some of the other fellas got the same look when they were finally rescued from that little town in Poland. Their eyes widened, trying to capture as much of the outside world as they could, all at once. I guess I probably wore it too. Rescued. Each morning, you woke up, certain today would be the day that they would take you out and finish you off. Some of the guys got back to the States and made up for the time they'd lost, making money, making a family, making a name for themselves. Breslau was like that. Some of the guys never fully came back. A part of them was still in Europe. It had been dragged through the mud, frozen into the snow, or hauled off by scavengers. I've never been able to put my finger on exactly what it was that went missing, but it was real. That part they left behind, it was almost imperceptible. But if you looked close enough, you could see it. Like a piece of jigsaw puzzle never made it out of the box again. And then there were guys like me. I tried to leave parts of me there, but whoever was in charge of the paths our lives take wasn't having any. I thought again about the mirrors smashing together, falling to the ground to make an imperfect picture. Jenny, here she is. Probably trying to reconcile her own survival with the loss of someone else. And all I can do is think of myself.
Where am I gonna stay?
The question takes me by surprise. What?
Well, where am I gonna stay? I haven't paid rent in months. I'm sure my landlord has taken all of my stuff to the dump and rented to someone else by now.
We'll figure something out. You'll need money.
You offering an advance?
On what?
On my Oh. Well, I thought I would come back to work for you. Unless you don't need me.
Work? Not sure. I haven't given it any thought.
Well, you're still working. You must be. You took the boxer's case. Unless you hired somebody. Another girl, which I understand if you did. I guess I wasn't thinking about... Of course, you must have hired somebody else.
There's nobody else.
What?
There's nobody else. I never hired anyone else because, well, I didn't, I haven't been working.
At all?
Not on purpose.
What does that mean?
It's hard to explain.
Try me. Over the next hour, Rex runs down what he's been doing since our last phone call. He talks about how the cops came by and gave him the news of my accident. He gets this look, like he's reviewing the scene again in his head. He talks about looking for some guy in a fancy Cadillac for a while and how each day got harder and harder. He stopped going to the office, stopped going outside. And at some point he apologizes for not going to my funeral. But he says he couldn't bring himself to attend. I can't help but think of my dad after my brother, his son, was killed during the war. Every day, he would just fade from view a little bit more until there was nothing left but a shadow. This gives me an idea. Oh, Mrs. Leibovitz.
What?
Oh, Mrs. Leibovitz. She owns the building where the office is.
And?
Well, she has another building, too. She told me about it once. Her husband bought it for her before he passed away. Kind of an insurance thing, to make sure she would always have income.
Thoughtful.
Yeah, wasn't it? Anyway, the place on 3rd and Grand is all businesses, but the other building is apartments. She'll rent to me.
Are you sure? You did disappear. It was reported in the papers that you were dead. And I haven't paid the rent on the office in... Come to think of it, how come she hasn't rented out the office? I happened by there last week, and my name was still on the door.
No kidding.
I was expecting to get evicted from my own place soon. Why hasn't Leibovitz tossed us out on the street?
Us?
Riveter Investigations.
Us. Are we partners?
Don't get ahead of yourself. You stopped showing up for work in March. What makes you think I'm going to hire you back?
Well...
Can you provide any references?
I did have one boss, but you wouldn't want to talk to him.
Oh, why not?
He's kind of a lunkhead.
A lunkhead?
Well, sure. What else would you call a guy that doesn't have the smarts to rehire me?
And that's how the rest of the ride goes. Some silences, followed by some witty banter. Jenny provided the banter. I provided... Well, actually, I just drove. She did all the work. We agreed that once we reached Los Angeles, we would head to my place. Jenny called Leibovitz, who suggested we head right over.
Rex Riveter, look at you. You look thin. Come in, come in.
Mrs. Leibovitz?
Dinah, please.
Hello, Mrs. Leibovitz. Dinah.
Oh, Mrs. McIntosh. Come in, dear. You're letting all the schmaltz out.
Miss.
Mrs. Leibovitz.
Dinah, please.
Dinah.
Where have you two been? I haven't seen you in forever.
We've been,
We've been busy restructuring the business.
Restructuring? What do I know? My late husband Moshe, God rest his soul, took care of all the business dealings. I was what do you call it now? A housewife. Like I was married to the house? What does that even mean, a housewife? Come in. There's someone I want you should meet.
She takes us through her home and out onto a patio where a temporary fort was built. And beneath it is a table and several chairs. Sitting at the table is a young man in his late 20s to early 30s.
This is my nephew, Jonah.
Jonah,
this is the man I was telling you about. He's a private investigator, Rex Riveter.
good afternoon.
And this is his secretary.
Assistant.
Secretary.
Mrs. McIntosh.
Miss. And Jenny is fine, actually. How do you do, Jonah?
Jonah. You'll have to excuse my aunt.
Sit. Are you hungry? We can eat out here. It's Sukkot, so we have to...
Sukkot?
A Jewish holiday.
One of many.
This one symbolizes the time the Israelites wandered in the desert. We are commanded to...
They didn't come here for Hebrew school, Jonah.
Auntie,
Let them be. Sit, please. I'm getting tired just watching you two stand there. Now, would you like something to eat?
Oh, no, thank you. We're fine. Right, boss? Oh, but if we're interrupting your holiday...
Nonsense.
No.
Sit. Now, what can I do for you?
Being as vague as we can, without being rude, Rex and I explain the situation. I need a place to rent, and it may be a few weeks before I can pay her. To her credit, Mrs. Leibovitz only asks one question.
When do you need it?
As soon as something's available.
You're lucky it's the beginning of the month. I have a vacancy since Thursday. It's yours. You can move in whenever you like. It's not cheap, but you'll like it. Okay? Okay, settled. And you don't worry about the first month's rent. It's on me.
Oh, that's very kind of you, Mrs. Dinah, but I couldn't. I can pay my own way.
Of course you can, dear. No one's saying you can't, but I insist. Besides, now I've scratched your back, but I have an itch too, and Mr. Riveter can help me.
No.
I beg your pardon?
Don't beg. It's embarrassing.
No.
I need a favor.
A favor.
A favor, you know, a small gift or decorative or festive item, like a noisemaker or a paper hat. You give them out to guests at parties. No, wait, it's the other one.
What?
I'm kidding with you, Mr. Riveter. Lighten up. You're always so serious. I need a favor. It'll be a nice mitzvah, although, no, really, because you would just be returning a favor I did for you, so not so much a mitzvah as just being neighborly. Are you sure you wouldn't like something to eat?
No, we're fine. Thank you, Mrs. Leibovitz. Why don't you tell me about this favor?
Oh, that's your mother. Yona, go get the door.
I'd rather...
Listen to your aging auntie and go answer the door. I promise I won't say a word until you get back. Now, where were we?
You were telling Jonah you wouldn't say a word until he got back.
You're sharp, Jenny. I like you. Fine. Call me later. We can discuss the details. It's nothing. I just want you to look into something for me. It's going to get very crowded in here soon. Family, friends. You're welcome to stay.
Thank you. I think we'll get out of your hair.
You're such a gentleman. Here, I'll show you out. Are you sure you won't eat?
We're ushered out past a horde of Mrs. Leibovitz's guests, shaking hands and hugging. Some watch us, curiously, but most are too busy talking about their plans or absent family. The ride back to my apartment is filled with Jenny's ruminations on where to get inexpensive towels, dishes, and other furnishings for her new place. Other than the occasional comment about a family heirloom that she'll miss, she seems in good spirits. It occurs to me that in the rush of the visit, I forgot to ask Mrs. Leibovitz about the office. Why was my name still on the door, and my things still inside? I make a mental note to bring it up when we talk to her later. We stop by the market and pick up a few things, since my cupboards are bare. And Jenny heads into the kitchen with the bags to make us some lunch. Despite my natural reservations, I can't help but feel that things are starting to look up a little. Jenny is alive and well.
I'm gonna need new clothes.
I can
Everything's gone.
hear her humming in the other
I
room.
miss my scrapbook, but I can start a new
She seems
scrapbook.
focused on building her life, collecting new belongings, new dresses and shoes.
Oh, shoes. Oh, well, I'm gonna need lots and lots of shoes. Never underestimate the power of a new pair of shoes.
Never underestimate the power of a new pair of shoes.
Everything. I'll need new dishes and new
For
towels.
the first time in months, I feel there is something to look forward to.
Oh, I don't even have any furniture. I wonder if
Normally,
it's gonna loan me some.
this is where I would expect the other shoe to drop.
Oh, maybe I could take
My
that
building
shoe.
will catch on fire,
You know,
or
one that I like.
I'll receive a telegram to report to D.C. before Senator McCarthy's
Maybe I could
committee.
take that as well.
But somewhere,
And cheese from that
in a
pizza
place I haven't visited in years, the thought bubbles up that maybe there isn't a second shoe to drop. Maybe this once, life only has one leg,
Rex, do you want cheese on your sandwich?
and it's through kicking my
Of
ass.
course you want cheese on your sandwich. I know that.
Even the cat seems to be in a good mood. Yep. Things just might work out after all. A crash in the kitchen sends a bolt of lightning up my spine. I rush in to find Jenny kneeling on the floor, crying. Angel, are you all right? What happened?
Oh, Rex, I'm sorry.
What happened?
I ruined everything. I'm so sorry.
That's just a plate of sandwiches.
I thought I was gonna die. They had guns. I thought they were gonna kill me. Rex, I didn't know what to do. I had to go along. I'm so sorry. Never been so scared. They held me. I was a prisoner. Oh, God, I was so scared.
It's all right, Angel. You're home now. You're safe. No one's going to hurt you.
I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I have never been so scared.
There's nothing to forgive you. You did what you had to do. You lived through it, and sometimes that's the toughest thing. But you're safe now. You're home, and you're safe. We sit there, on the floor of my kitchen. She buries her head into my chest and sobs uncontrollably for what might have been an hour.
They held me. I was a prisoner. Oh, God, I was so scared.
But eventually, with each breath, I can feel her let a little bit more of it go. All the while, the cat makes a meal out of whatever Jenny was fixing. Eventually, she stirs.
I was making ham sandwiches.
Mrs. Leibovitz would disapprove.
I think she would understand. It's homecoming.
Are you all right?
Yeah. I'm sorry I fell apart. It just hit me all of a sudden. I guess I've been holding on so tight for so long.
You were scared to let it go. Afraid you wouldn't be able to put it all back together again. It happens.
What do I do if it happens again?
You let it. There's no shame in being scared, Angel.
Is that what it was like for you?
Every day.
Did you ever let it go?
It's different for a man.
Why?
That's when the knock comes. Or was it the other shoe? Saved by the bell. Well, Officer, Monroe, wasn't it? What an unwanted surprise.
You think that's a surprise? Wait till you get a load of this one. Rex Riveter, this is a warrant for your arrest.
Arrest?
Rex?
You heard me. Arrest.
Rex, what's going on?
On what charge?
The charge is murder. Murder.
Tonight's episode of Rex Riveter Private Eye starred Rhiannon McAfee and Randy Cool and featured Laura Preble as Mrs. Leibovitz and Adam Sheldon as Officer Monroe, with special guest star Daniel Robinson as Jonah. It was written by Greg McAfee and produced in San Diego, California by Downstairs Entertainment in association with Davey Boy Productions. Rex Riveter is directed by Rhiannon McAfee with sound engineering and technical direction by Dave Rivas. Rex Riveter Private Eye is a proud part of the Fatecrafters Studios network. Find other great shows at fatecrafters.net. The Jenny McIntosh theme, Softly as in a Morning Sunrise, by the Artie Shaw Orchestra, is used with permission of Music Sales Corp. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, and why wouldn't you? Please find us on the internet at www.dsentertain.com or on the Facebook or the Twitter. If you love our show, who am I kidding? Of course you love our show. You can donate towards production costs at www.patreon.com/RexRiveter and get access to exclusive content like gag reels and outtakes from recording sessions. Our recap show, Riveting Conversations, will be back next Monday at 4 p.m. with interviews with your favorite cast and crew. For Downstairs Entertainment, this is Greg McAfee speaking.
And I'm gonna watch you fry.